Hello students, welcome to the English class. Today I am going to begin with one of the most interesting chapters of your supplementary reader, that is Bholi, which is the ninth chapter of Footprints Without Feet. And this chapter is written by K.A. Abbas. So before beginning this interesting story, we are going to know about the writer K.A. Abbas. So now I'll tell you about him. This writer K.A. Abbas' full name is Khwaja Ahmad Abbas. He was a famous Indian film director, novelist, screenwriter and a journalist in Urdu, Hindi and English languages. He was the maker of films like S.W. Hindustani 1969 and Do Boon Pani, which won the National Film Award for the Best Feature Film on National Integration. He wrote screen scripts of the best of Raj Kapoor's films like Awara, Shri 420, Mera Naam Joker and Bobby. He was born in the family of the famous Urdu poet Hall, who was a student of Mirza Ghalib. His grandfather was one of the chief rebels of 1857, First World War of Independence, and he was born in Panipat, Haryana on 7th June 1914 and died on 1st June 1987 at the age of 72. So now this was about the author. Now let's begin with the explanation of the chapter. Before beginning with the explanation and the reading of this chapter, let me give you a brief introduction of this chapter lesson, Bholi, and learn that what is there in this story. So this story, Bholi, revolves around a girl who, due to accidental fall and disease in her childhood, faces the problem of being dull and ugly. She is always a target by everyone for not being good looking and intelligent, and her life turns when she joins a nearby school where her teacher encourages her and helps her to become a learned and confident person. Later in the story, circumstances arise where Bholi has to give acceptance to the marriage with an unequal match, but finally she rejects it when she sees her father pleading to the bridegroom when he demands dowry. And the story shows the rise of a girl against social injustice. So, this chapter is again a message giving story. It has a message giving story in which we are going to read about this little girl Bholi. So, the chapter begins like this. Her name was Sulekha, but since her childhood, everyone had been calling her Bholi, the simpleton. Simpleton means a foolish person easily tricked by others. So she was the fourth daughter of Nambardal Ramlal. When she was 10 months old, she had fallen off the cot means bed, on her head, and perhaps it had damaged some part of her brain. That was why she remained backward. Backward means slow learner. Child and came to be known as Bholi the simpleton. So in these lines, the narrator describes a girl named Sulekha who was the fourth daughter of the Nambardar Ramlal, who was the landlord of the village. Sulekha was called Bholi since her childhood, and she was called so for being a simpleton and a slow learner, which happened because she had fallen on her head from a narrow bed when she was only 10 months old, and this had led to damage of some part of her brain, making her a slow learner. Then further, the next paragraph says, at birth the child was very fair and pretty, but when she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. Only the eyes were saved, but the entire body was permanently disfigured by deep black pockmarks. Pockmarks are the spots on the skin. Little Sulekha could not speak till she was 5, and when at last she learned to speak, she stammered. Stammered means fumbled for words. The other children often made fun of her and mimicked her. As a result, she talked very little. So, in these lines, so it is written that when this girl Bholi was born, she was very fair and beautiful. When she was too small, when she was an infant, but when the child was 2 years old. So, when Bholi grew up and became 2 years old, she caught smallpox, which left spots on her whole body and made her look ugly. Only her eyes were saved from it, and she started speaking when she turned 5 and would often fumble. So, when she started to speak at the age of 5, she could not speak properly. She stammered, she fumbled, and other children made fun of her and copied her. And this made Bholi feel so bad that she stopped speaking. The next paragraph says Ramlal had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters, and the youngest of them was Bholi. It was a prosperous farmer's household, and there was plenty to eat and drink. All the children except Bholi were healthy and strong. The sons had been sent to the city to study in schools and later in colleges. Of the daughters, Radha, the eldest, had already been married. The second daughter, Mangla's marriage had also been settled. And when that was done, Ramlal would think of the third, that is Champa. They were good looking, healthy girls, and it was not difficult to find bridegrooms for them. But Ramlal was worried about Bholi. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. So, here in these lines, the word prosperous means doing well or rich. So, it is said that Ramlal had 7 children. Among the 7 children, he had 3 sons and 4 daughters, out of which Bholi was the youngest child of Ramlal. And Ramlal was a rich farmer. He was prosperous, he was earning well, he provided the family with good food. All the children were healthy and strong except Bholi. His sons were sent to the city to study at the schools and colleges. Radha was his eldest daughter who was married, and Mangla's marriage, the second daughter, had been fixed, and now it was Champa, the third daughter's turn. As all of them were healthy and beautiful girls, it was not tough to marry them off. The main concern for Ramlal was Bholi, because Bholi was neither beautiful nor intelligent, as she was a slow learner, and it was not an easy thing to find a bridegroom for her. Next paragraph says Bholi was 7 years old when Mangla was married. The same year, a primary school for girls was opened in their village. The Tehsildar Sahib came to perform its opening ceremony, and he said to Ramlal, "As a revenue official, you are the representative of the government in the village, and so you must set an example to the villagers, and you must send your daughters to school." So, in these lines, the word Tehsildar means the district collector, and representative means spokesperson. So, in the narrator in these lines says that Bholi was 7 years old when her elder sister Mangla got married. That year, a primary school for girls was opened in the village, and the Tehsildar, that is the district collector, he visited to inaugurate the school. He asked Ramlal to send his daughters to school. He encouraged him to do so because, as he was the revenue official, his act of sending his daughters to school would serve as an example for the villagers, and this would lead to the education of girls in the village. Then the next paragraph says, that night when Ramlal consulted his wife, she cried, "Are you crazy? If girls go to school, who will marry them?" But Ramlal had not the courage to disobey the Tehsildar. At last his wife said, "I will tell you what to do. Send Bholi to school. As it is, there is little chance of her getting married with her ugly face and lack of sense. Let the teachers at school worry about her." So in these lines now, the word consulted means discussed. So the narrator says that after hearing the Tehsildar, Ramlal discussed the matter with his wife, and she at once rejected it by saying that it would become difficult for them to marry their educated daughters. And Ramlal was now double minded as he didn't want to disobey the Tehsildar, and on the other hand, his wife was also right. Finally, his wife suggested to send Bholi to school because, anyways, there were negligible chances for her to get married. Then the next paragraph says, the next day Ramlal caught Bholi by the hand and said, "Come with me, I will take you to school." Bholi was frightened. She did not know what a school was like. She remembered how a few days ago their old cow Lakshmi had been turned out of the house and sold. No, 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 she shouted in terror and pulled her hand away from her father's grip. So, in these lines, the narrator says that next morning Ramlal took Bholi to school as his wife told him to do so. Bholi was afraid of going to school as she was not aware of what school was, as she had never heard the name of school before and she had never seen this place. So Bholi was reminded that a few days ago their cow Lakshmi had been sent out of home and her father got money in return for it. So she thought that she too would be sold like Lakshmi, and so she started pulling her hand away from her father's hand as she was reluctant to go to school with her father, thinking that he would sell her like their cow Lakshmi. Then the next paragraph says, "What's the matter with you?" shouted Ramlal. "I am only taking you to school." Then he told his wife, "Let her wear some decent clothes today, or else what will the teachers and the other schoolgirls think of us when they see her?" New clothes had never been made for Bholi. The old dresses of her sisters were passed on to her. No one cared to mend or wash her clothes, but today she was lucky to receive a clean dress which had shrunk after many washings and no longer fitted Champa. She was even bathed and oil was rubbed into her dry and matted hair. Only then did she begin to believe that she was being taken to a place better than her home. So, in these lines, the word shrunk means reduced and matted means untidy. So, Bholi's father got irritated with her behavior and shouted that he was taking her to school. He then told his wife to dress her up because he didn't want others to think ill of them. So it was for the first time that Bholi got clean clothes to wear. Although it was her elder sister Champa's worn out dress, but she was bathed and her messy hair was washed and oiled for the very first time. And such a treatment made her believe that she was going to some better place than her home. Then the next paragraph says, when they reached the school, the children were already in their classrooms, and Ramlal handed over his daughter to the headmistress. Left alone, the poor little girl looked about with her with fear-laden eyes, and there were several rooms, and in each room girls like her squatted on mats, reading from books or writing on slates. The headmistress asked Bholi to sit down in a corner in one of the classrooms. So, in these lines, the word fear laden means full of fear, squatted means to sit with one's knees bent. So, in these lines, the narrator says that upon reaching school, they found that children were already in their classrooms, and Ramlal handed Bholi to the headmistress and left the place. Then Bholi's eyes were full of fear because it was the first time that she had gone out of home, and there were a number of classrooms with many students in each one. They were sitting on the mats and were reading or writing. Bholi was taken to a classroom and was ordered to sit there by the headmistress. Then further it says, Bholi did not know what exactly a school was like and what happened there, but she was glad to find so many girls almost of her own age present there. She hoped that one of these girls might become her friend. Bholi was not aware of anything about school. What made her happy was that there were so many girls of her age, and she thought that she may find a friend among these girls. Then further, the next paragraph says the lady teacher who was in the class was saying something to the girls, but Bholi could not understand anything. She looked at the pictures on the walls. The colors fascinated her. The horse was brown, just like the horse on which the Tehsildar had come to visit their village. The goat was black, like the goat of their neighbor, and the parrot was green, like the parrot she had seen in the mango orchard. And the cow now was just like their Lakshmi. And suddenly Bholi noticed that the teacher was standing by her side, smiling at her. What's your name, little one? So, in these lines, the word fascinated means attracted, and orchard means a land planted with fruit trees. So, the narrator in these lines says that in the class, the lady teacher was teaching something, but Bholi could not understand what she was saying, and she was just looking at the various pictures on the wall which were beautiful and which attracted Bholi. Bholi, she got attracted towards all those pictures. They, there was a picture of a brown horse that resembled the horse on which Tehsildar had visited their village. And there was also a picture of a green parrot which looked like the same parrots that she had seen in the mango orchard. And there was also an image of a cow that resembled their own cow Lakshmi. While she was busy looking at the pictures, she realized that the teacher was standing near her, and she asked Bholi her name. And further says bho bho bho. She could stammer no further than that, and then she began to cry, and tears flowed from her eyes in a helpless flood. She kept her head down as she sat in her corner, not daring to look up at the girls who she knew were still laughing at her. When the school bell rang, all the girls scurried out of the classroom, but Bholi dared not leave her corner. Her head still lowered, she kept on sobbing. Bholi, the teacher's voice was so soft and soothing. In all her life, she had never been called like that, and it touched her heart. So, in these lines, the word stammer means fumble for words, and sobbing means noisy crying. So, in these lines, it is said that Bholi, she tried hard but stammered and could say only bho bho. She could not say a complete word when her teacher asked her name. And after this she began to cry and did not dare to look up, as she was sure that all the other girls would be laughing at her. And when school was over, the teacher came to Bholi and called her by her name. Bholi was still crying with her head down, and teacher's voice was very soft, and Bholi had never been addressed with such affection before, and she felt so good that it touched her heart. Get up, said the teacher. It was not a command, but just a friendly suggestion. Bholi got up. Now tell me your name. And sweat broke out over her whole body. Would her stammering tongue again disgrace her? For the sake of this kind woman, however, she decided to make an effort, and she had such a soothing voice she would not laugh at her. Bho, 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 she began to stammer. Well done, the teacher encouraged her. Come on now, the full name. Bha, bha, bho, Bholi. At last she was able to say it and felt relieved as if it was a great achievement. Well done, the teacher patted her affectionately and said, Put the fear out of your heart and you will be able to speak like everyone else. Bholi looked up as if to ask, really? So, in these lines, the word soothing means reduce pain or discomfort, and disgrace means dishonor or shame. So, in these lines, now the teacher tried to make Bholi comfortable by her friendly manner, and she asked her name again. Though Bholi was hesitant and nervous, she tried and was able to speak her full name. The teacher praised her for her attempt and said that if she shunned her fear, she would be able to speak clearly like other children. And Bholi was surprised to hear that she could speak clearly. So this is all for today. I'll continue the remaining chapter in my next class. Thank you and goodbye.